everyone, welcome back to Adobe Live, and I'm Amelia Waliani. I'm a community manager here at Adobe, and I'm joined with Ashton Dewey today, who's going to be walking us through designing a zine that compares the dream of Hollywood to the reality of it. So I guess you could explain more.
Yeah, I recently moved to Newport Beach area, and it's just kind of funny. I grew up in Kansas City, so like the dream of what like Hollywood and like California is versus like its reality is pretty stark and noticeable, and not in a negative way. Just you can just tell there's a facade there, and it's kind of fun to play with just calling that into attention.
It demands a zine.
Yeah,
it demands a zine.
It's perfect for a zine.
Awesome. So quick run through for our time together today. We're going to be pausing at around 1:45 to. Oh, sorry. We're going to be pausing at around 2 o'clock to announce the Chat and Win winner. So that means that if you guys are interacting with us and chatting with us in the chat, you stand a chance to win a really cool notebook. We'll tell you more about the really cool notebook. I want that really cool notebook. So be sure to engage with us, and we'll be announcing that winner at 2. And then also, as we're celebrating Editorial Design Week this week, we ask that all of you, please, if you feel inspired, submit your design for a holiday card, and we'll also be walking through those new submissions later at the end of the day today. So cool. Let's get started with this really cool zine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. I pulled a little note list here. I kind of took a page out of my friend Rachel's book. She was on here like 6 months ago and did a little zine. And I really liked her breakdown of like her process. We went to the same university, so we have a pretty similar process. So the stuff that's in italic is stuff I kind of already have gone through a little bit. So I always start kind of making a word list and a kind of a word map. And the word map is more of just kind of spitballing, getting imagery that you normally wouldn't think of. So you start with a word. I started with California, branched out. Yeah, branched out from there. Kind of got like some basic categories, and so I kind of like branched out from there, and that'll give you more categories and kind of content-based stuff. And once you kind of figure out what you're kind of gravitating toward, I like to make a list of kind of the feel of what I'm going for. So my list kind of took this approach here.
Ooh,
like,
nice.
I'm a huge Doors fan, so I always think of like LA Woman when I think of California, and a line in that is City of Light. And he says City of Light, City of Night, and it's kind of that comparison of like, it's bright and shiny, but there's also like that dark side of it, like the real side.
The underbelly.
Yeah, the underbelly, I like that.
It's a good word.
So I started just kind of rattling off things I think of when I think of like a darker side of California, not a negative, but just the reality kind of stuff.
Sure.
And there's always like the cameras and lights, but recently there's been like a lot of fires.
Sure.
I have some photos I'll show later of like the floods that hit Costa Mesa recently. Pretty crazy. There was some cars underwater. Kind of crazy. I think the fires kind of caused that. It gets real dry, and then all the water just rushes in, and
no, it's true.
Pretty crazy.
Sets the stage for.
Yeah, I said like tourism, crowded. There's a lot of like machines and factories, especially like by Long Beach and stuff, and Huntington. You kind of see like
an industrial side.
Yeah, you see the nice beaches, and then you see the industrial side of stuff, which is it's interesting. I've never been up close to like oil rigs and stuff. There's a little bit in Kansas, but mostly like we have windmills and stuff like that.
It's a different zone.
Yeah, it's very noisy, stuff like that. And then I kind of pulled in some words of like my transition, and I kind of like to just pull synonyms and stuff, and transition, flux, the road, metamorphosis, shifting.
Gamble,
yeah, because
that one's weighty.
Yeah. Well, that's what it felt like, because I moved out here with my best friend Jake, and he got a job at Vans. He's a 3D designer there. And I had a couple of jobs fall through, and so I just like I was like, might as well just move in with my best friend, you know? Shout out Jake if you're watching.
Shout out Jake.
I love that guy, but yeah, he's a designer at Vans. He does 3D modeling. It's very cool. But yeah, so I just decided to come out here and kind of started searching for jobs. I work at Banks Journal right now, which is a surf
cool
fashion brand. But yeah, so I pulled those like kind of words in, and I start creating kind of a visual look of kind of stuff I want to go after. So I was thinking like scripts, like Hollywood scripts going on, a lot of old like grungy posters, very analog kind of style stuff. And just that kind of visual feel that I'm going for based on my word list. And then I'll start going into just playing around with some fonts, some font choices. I'm still I was narrowing these down this morning, and I think...
we covered some Baskerville earlier today.
Baskerville's classic. Yeah, I'm gonna cross this one out because I kind of focused more on this one. I started to like this. I'll hint on that in a second. And then I just pulled some images. These are the images of the flood.
Wow.
So this was an intersection in Costa Mesa this weekend. Or it was last week.
Very recently.
Yeah, it was crazy. You can see this. This is a car. These are cars.
My goodness.
It was gnarly.
So this all fits into this larger narrative of all the different changes you're seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and then I also have this content I pulled from another, so Jim Morrison from The Doors also wrote poetry, so I kind of pulled some of his language, and he talks a lot about cinema and how it's kind of this whole kind of just play put on for people, and people base their lives on it, but it's based on people's lives, stuff like that. So I thought it was pretty fitting for some content there. So yeah, so I pulled that word list. I have that mood board kind of thing.
Yeah,
I started to narrow down stuff. And then this kind of stuff is just like pretty, what do you call that, subjective. You know, I really wanted to do kind of a, here I'll show these covers first. I really wanted to do kind of a small kind of zine, so it's basically a half of an 11, or 8.5 by 11 if you turn it and just cut it in half. 5.5 by 8.5.
Yeah.
If I can do my math right.
I think that's
so
right.
I went and just kind of did some quick little cover studies here. So I started with kind of the Hollywood sign. I really liked that. And the word Babylon came from that word list. And I actually looked up the meaning of that word, and it's actually used biblically like as like a lot of confusion and stuff like that. So I kind of thought that was kind of nice.
Yeah, that
kind of a nice
fits
like
into the vibe.
And a lot of the language in the book, it kind of comes from that too, because it's kind of talks to like priest, like kind of an old timey kind of language, like old English kind of language kind of thing. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of fitting. So I kind of just started rattling off, and these are really quick. I kind of start with one, copy it, do another thing, copy it, and start just playing. So I'll just go through these and kind of see where it ended up. I ended up going with a negative of the sign to go with that opposite emotion. So I started playing with the negative. Here I'm just experimenting with the form of it, how it can be seen. And then I started to play with the type a little more, doing this like shadowy play stuff. And I really like doing this like bit mapping in Photoshop, and I'll go into that later just to add to that like grunginess. So I can do a lot of this, make it clean and get the form I want, and then I can go add some effects and make it kind of
bold.
Fun. But I started playing with that, in that mood board there was like a chain link fence, and I really liked this lighter version of this. It's not Fetty Francoeur, but this is a modern Francoeur, or Francoeur, sorry. And it's kind of thinner, and it kind of reminds me more of like a fence, like a chain link kind of look.
Yeah.
Like it's thinner and it's more like wiry.
Like wiry.
Yeah, and so I started playing with, I'm all for someone who's like based on legibility, but for this I really wanted to experiment because a lot of my stuff's really clean and thought through, and I kind of wanted to make these pretty expressive and more emotional, and using the negatives and using my visual cues to kind of make that emotion apparent without having to say it, you know?
Absolutely.
Not make it legible in a different way, I guess you could say.
It's accessible still.
Yeah, like it's hard to break through that. Like, I've got a very Swiss-like background, so it's really hard to like break the reins completely, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I'm still working in a grid. I'm just kind of using it as a guide, you know? I'm not really using it very strictly.
Distorting ever so slightly.
Yeah, exactly. Just as much as I can do it, as comfortable as I can be. Like,
Right.
It's hard for me. But so yeah, I'll go into like more of this, the nitty gritty. So,
Cool.
just the file setup. I've already kind of determined that I want to do that 8.5 or by 5.5 formats. I'm in picas for some reason. Anyone knows the pike? Oh, it's already there. Okay. Yeah.
Good to ask the audience, though.
Yeah. Does anyone know pica conversion? The pica conversion. So yeah, this is just, gotta open that blank document. I pre-decided that I wanted to do like this format and this number of grids. I really like working in like an odd number.
Why?
Odd number of columns. For some reason it's not showing up. One sec. It usually just creates kind of an asymmetrical thing for me. So I like balance, but at the same time I really like asymmetry. Kind of weird. I don't really know how to describe
Off-centered.
why.
Maybe
yeah, I
it's
think
just
you can create balance. You can kind of create balance with an asymmetrical layout, and I think that's very like a very Swiss thing to do. Obviously, like going a little. So I've already kind of like knew that this was gonna look like this.
Okay.
Sorry guys.
It's okay to be prepared.
Spoilers, but yeah, I usually like if you look at my stuff in my portfolio, I usually work with a grid that's an odd number of columns, and that's just something I figured out from trial and error. What I prefer to work with kind of sets me up for columns that are shifted one way or the other.
Sure.
You know, if you have a 6 up and you have 2 columns that are 3, I mean they're going to be centered, you know. So just adding that extra column can push them.
It's like a little bit off.
Yeah, it's just kind of like my way of making it easier on myself to kind of go through there. So I've set that up. I've already decided that I want to do basically just black and white using this modern black letter, and I think Baskerville. I think I decided I wanted to go with this. I'm gonna cross out Ondale because I was kind of going for that like script look, but I'm really enjoying the way this Baskerville is kind of going around, like just the all caps, like it's kind of like spontaneous and in your face a little bit.
Yeah, it's very confident.
Yeah, so I think I've narrowed it down to these 3, and just grayscale, and then I've got my photos. So I'm gonna come in here.
Got your mood board.
So I'm gonna go. I've kind of been trying to decide what kind of one I was gonna go for, because these are getting crazy over here. I don't know if I want to go super crazy. I kind of enjoy the centered up stuff. I always do like.
Do you want to get folks' feedback?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
I just need someone to decide for me.
you want to label them like a number 1 or a number 2?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like what I've been doing here with this, and I actually did some of this morning, kind of broke away from what I was doing, and I kind of liked that, but I don't really like how this is pushed over, because I do that too much. I love bleeding off the page. I can just tell myself,
just gotta bleed.
You know, and I think I really am enjoying this one the most. So I think I'm gonna go to duplicate spread, and I think I can do that, or I can do move spread, can't I? I used to be able, I remember you could duplicate a spread and move it. I thought, maybe not.
Guys, we're going to be announcing the Chat and Win winner in about 16 minutes, so definitely tell us your favorite font.
Favorite font?
Yeah, and what's your favorite font? Side note, unless we already covered it, which I don't think we did.
I'm definitely a sans serif guy. I've always liked, but I think that's kind of a guy thing. You're like sans serif. But I don't know. It kind of changes as I go. What am I doing here? There we go. Document set. I want to make these margins a little bit smaller. I think I had them at. Oh, why am I in? I'm in picas here. 1 second. Units.
Sans.
I don't know why
Hey,
I'm in
Olivier.
picas. There we go. All right.
Voltage, Bookmania, Gil Sans.
Gilsons.
Gotham. Futura. Comic Sans.
Comic Sans.
Nice one.
Someone's got to troll the chat. It's okay.
Zapfino. Eldwin Script.
I think Zapfino's like the Wingdings or something like that. I'm pretty sure, isn't it? That's
Fun
funny,
one.
though. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting this little, you know, the growing pains of setting up a document. It's always fun. Gotta get all your stuff in.
Ryan, you said lobster. So we heard lobster.
Lobster? That's like, what is that? Lost type foundry typeface? Pretty trendy.
I'm not familiar with it, frankly.
Yeah, so I set up this with 16 pages because I want to do like a saddle stitch. So with saddle stitch, you want to do an increment of 4 because these pages are going to nest in each other. And the way that they order the pages, it's just best to have an increment of 4. So I figured I could maybe hit 16, maybe 12.
Okay.
We'll see as we go. If I need more, I can add 4 more pages, but I'm going to roll with
Roughly how many pages
this.
are you aiming? Roughly how many pages are you aiming
I think
for?
16 feels good.
16 feels
like
good.
I think I can do, what's that, like 7-ish spreads. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Good pacing. Yeah, so I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna try to do this opening title page, and I wanna keep kind of this feel going, so I'm kind of using, this is the Baskerville here, and I've got some Helvetica over here. So I wanna like kind of set my hierarchy up as I'm going. And I really just like this piece by itself. So I'm gonna take this. I'm grouping it right now just so I can grab it. And I'm gonna just throw that. Oh, I don't want it all. I don't want it all.
Just one part.
Yep, I just want part. Okay. I just want that. Okay.
Oh, we have a great question in the chat. What's your secret to stay creative and find visual ideas?
That's a great question. I think everyone does it differently.
Yeah.
I really enjoy like just getting outside. Like I kind of get, I feel like all designers would kind of get locked in our computer for a while, and we're looking for inspiration online, and that can get a little unhealthy, you know, because you can get overwhelmed. I used to get overwhelmed when I was a student because, you know, you see everyone's work and you want to do it all at once, and you really can't look at it that way because it gets pretty overwhelming.
Sure.
You want to just tackle it one thing at a time, and staying active too also helps, just not like physically, yes, but like just making stuff all the time, you know, like you can really surprise yourself with doing weird stuff. Like just do something you've never done. I like to try different media all the time. Like a couple years ago, I just started like doing printmaking with like rubber stamps, and I work pretty small when I draw, so it kind of made sense to work on small stamps, probably like 3 by
smaller scale, yeah.
3 by 2 inch, yeah. So I mean, it was kind of fun to kind of do that, and and then you can use that stuff and take it into your designs later. You have this like skill and different viewpoint on how to approach a project, what kind of just like media you can use.
Yeah, it keeps your perspective broad, I feel.
Experimenting is really fun. So I'm gonna move this guy. What do we want to do? I kind of want to get some of this language going in here. I actually have some sketches in here for layouts. So I forgot to mention, I like to sketch my layouts before, just so I'm not just like what I'm doing. Like
sure. Do you want to share
around.
some? We can actually share that with our
is that
audience.
possible? We have a
Yeah.
GoPro. Oh, here. This is just nothing. So these are pretty rough, but they're pretty much just
Is it appearing the way you'd want it to?
yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. They're just, I guess it would be, yeah, because this is right setup. So I really just start kind of making a bunch of boxes. These are pretty quick, and just throwing in. I usually do like an X box. Everyone has their own little code.
Right.
This is an X box. An image for me. A colored in is like a photo background or a colored background. These lines are small type. The bigger lines are bigger type. Usually the other just boxes that X's are like titles or something like that.
Cool.
So just getting a visual reference like this
it's a good
really
exercise.
helps. Yeah, because you can just see the balance without having to throw it in. And obviously, whatever your content is going to change. Like how they're not going to be perfectly like this. You know.
Sure.
Whatever you're working with is going to change it. So I really just like to find one that like feels like it's gonna fit kind of what I'm doing. Like I was kind of doing this for the cover and stuff like that. I'm trying to do like a little title page, kind of like this. What's going on here?
This is a really great framework to start out with, though, I think.
Yeah, and it kind of like, it's not doing the work for you, obviously, because you can never do that. Because there's always like, I mean, you got to fill in the blanks, you know, and everyone has their own little way of doing it. I think I'm going to pull some of this language of this book that kind of goes over the main idea that I'm kind of going with. So I'm going to go back, navigate back here. So this type was a lot about just how cities form and the nightlife and the street life and like how cinema takes over. So I think I really like this opening piece.
Shall we read it out loud?
If you want to read it out loud. Here, let me throw it in here.
Yeah. What does it say? This is the wise words of Jim Morrison?
Yeah.
All right.
This is. So it says, we all live in the city. The city forms, often physically, but inevitably physically, a circle, a game, a drive towards the outskirts of the city suburbs. At the edge,
there's more.
Zones of sophisticated he had very
has colorful language.
Yeah, colorful language. I'm gonna take out these hyphens because those are bothering me. So yeah, just kind of throwing this stuff in. I think getting that little brief here can really help with what I'm going after. Let's see.
Sure, front and center.
Kind of like this all caps. Well, obviously this isn't legible and it's not how you should use a serif.
Sure.
But I really am trying to break my comfort zone here because I'm always very rigid in my, as if anyone wants to check out my stuff, you can tell it's pretty rigid and it's very Swiss inspired. We had like at my university at KU, it was very Swiss inspired kind of stuff, but I've always found interest in like David Carson kind of stuff. That really experimental, like new wave kind of stuff.
Cool.
April Greenman, people like that. Wolfgang Weingart. It's like just pushing the feeling of what's going on versus the legibility is kind of their basis. So I'm kind of just pulling this in. Pretty basic right now.
You have an interesting question also. Couple. Yeah. Where did you learn how to work with typography?
Like to work with it digitally?
I guess.
Yeah, and the grid setup, that's a good question
yeah.
too. So I studied at the University of Kansas, and we have a very, very good typography teacher. Her name's Andrea Herstowski. She actually worked at Factor out here in San Francisco for a while.
Cool.
But she definitely pressed us a lot on the history of type, and so we understand that. And then
the evolution.
We did numerous magazine projects, so they really don't give you tutorials at our university. They just kind of throw you into it and say,
isn't that the best way?
Yeah, it
is the best.
It keeps you afloat, and it kind of weeds out the people that, you know, like don't take it seriously. And that way we can bounce questions off her, but it's mostly just trial and error going through.
Yeah.
And I was talking about the grid setup earlier, how I usually like to use an odd number of columns. That way it gives me like an asymmetric horizontal feel. So I'm pretty sure I did a 7-7 here, which is pretty nice because I have like a middle in each direction, and I like to play with that like vertical and horizontal balance a lot in my stuff. I think having a nice like balance of horizontal and vertical is good for the eye, and I think that helps with the asymmetry kind of stuff. Right now I'm working very symmetrical, which is really hard for me, and I never do. My teacher would hate this. She loves like left align type, and I love left align type, don't get me wrong, but I want to do something very like symmetrical here.
I think your teacher would be very proud of you right now, regardless of what you're doing.
I love her. She's the best, man. But we don't want to leave this widow here. That's definitely a no-go. I can't fight all my teachings. I can't leave the widow. That's a no-go. Ah, we got it again. Okay. I have to break this. Okay.
All right, chat and win winner is going to be announced in about 5 minutes. So keep it up, guys. If you want a cool notebook, which I'm sure you do.
Yeah. What's the notebook? What's it look like?
The notebook is really cool. It's this.
I love notebook. I need a new one. Mine's very worn out.
Well, this
Anyone
one's
can see
really
this.
nice. I guess we'll just quickly walk over.
Losing the spine of it. It's pretty dead.
Well, this could be a really great replacement.
Oh, it's Moo.
It's a
Moo
Moo
is good.
notebook.
That's where I got my business cards done. Very good.
It's very nice. So
Let's see.
keep
I want to
chatting
pull
with
some
us.
imagery in here. So this talks about the circular nature of a city, the ring, street life. It's very like lo-fi, like in the underbelly. I like that
Yeah,
word.
I'm reading disease specimens
Yeah, that's
and something
gross
else.
sounding. Let's see. So some of these are from my trip in Venice. Some of these are
Cool.
more recent. I kind of want to grab something that makes sense with this. Something about the city. Kind of like these alleyway shots. I take a lot of alleyway shots. Here we go. We got like good. I was on my roof at my old work here, and I got to get a pretty good view of the city here from the.
Oh yeah, that's
The ocean's
a great
right
shot.
over here, but you can't see it. This was the best view. But, so let's see. I'm gonna pull. What I've been doing with these photos, also I'm gonna go through that. I just have an open file here that I just basically use as a canvas.
Okay.
And I'll throw the photo in. Oh, I don't know what that means. I like to throw the photo in, basically. Okay, not doing what I want. And I'm gonna ignore the white space here because I
Okay.
don't really need that. I can actually just delete that. And so what I like to do is just take it grayscale right off the bat because I want to keep this all black and white to stay
There you
very
go.
cohesive. So all these photos kind of can live together and not fight. There's no color
To fight amongst.
Yeah, there's no like things going on. And from my studies, I really liked when I was inverting these because it kind of draws on that idea of
Ooh.
the opposite of what you
Very
think, that
smart,
juxtaposition.
yeah.
So I've been kind of pulling this way in, and then I'll go up here and I'll do some maybe some threshold. This is some real grungy stuff.
Look at that ominous underbelly sky.
Oh, we wanna go
What that
here.
negative did there.
Yeah,
Looks
I
like
love the
ghosty,
negative makes it all
ethereal.
look. Yeah, especially pictures of people when they're negative. It's
Oh yeah,
really-
that's terrifying.
really
Actually.
freaky. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, and then I've been going to threshold, which basically just knocks all the other color out and makes it just black and
Cool.
white. If I want to do that, or this one, I really want to kind of see
Ooh.
a little bit of what's going on.
Yeah, those wires. You want those to kind
So
of
I
appear.
might just go to. So a bitmap is basically I'm making all these just pixels, and if I take away pixels, like I'm doing, I'm cutting it in half, and makes it a little
Ooh,
little more
grainy.
like that. So I think either one of those things that I'm doing, I can kind of grab. So I'm gonna go back.
Paul, good tip.
What did he say?
It's just telling folks not to encourage other people to chat so they don't get a chance to win the notebook.
Smart play.
Tricky.
I like that. Smart guy. I need my little setup again. So
There you go.
what do we want to do? See, this is the start is the hardest. Once you start getting your rhythm going, it's like a lot easier.
Actually,
It's always the beginning, It's the hardest. Let's see. Just gotta find that inspiration.
let's see. You want to point out which ones you're
Yeah, right now
considering?
I'm just kind of freeballing it because this is just the title page. But I'm kind of looking at this, like this is pretty centered up in this type here.
Ooh.
But we have a pretty dark image, so I don't want to go over this type. Because I want to be able to at least read some of the type in this book.
Cool. I'm going to pause you really quick
Yeah.
as we announce the chat and win the winners of the cool Moon Notebook. Something's coming up soon. Just wait, you.
They were plugging Moo. I'm plugging Moo because I really enjoy their stuff. But they actually messed up my business cards and they sent me a free replacement. So they will do
they're great.
if they don't come out perfectly, they have great customer support. So props to them.
Well, I'm sure they thoroughly appreciate that additional
Yeah.
vote of confidence.
Very good. Yeah, they have great paper quality too. I'm gonna shout them out. Did the giveaway already end? Did they just give it?
Oh, we can just keep going. I'm gonna announce it once we've decided.
I want to know who the winner is.
I know,
want
me
it.
too.
I can't win it.
Keep it up, guys. Now's the time.
Okay, we got this little guy. So I want to kind of establish some hierarchy as well. So I'm trying to pull these. Oop, sorry, guys. These typefaces I was using. So I was using Helvetica here. I'm not exactly sure I want to use it. I was thinking a call out would be good, but I don't think that's necessary on this page. Oh,
okay, we've got our winner, Carlos Garcia Alcantara. Did I say that right? I hope I did. But this really cool notebook is yours. Everyone be jealous and continue engaging with us throughout these sessions as we continue holding them.
It's got some,
It's this beautiful, thick paper, textured.
The pink? Oh, they got some pink paper.
Some pink.
I love pink.
Definitely want this. So, congratulations, Carlos, and thank you so much for chatting with us and keeping us updated about your thoughts.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I love notebooks. I mean, I think designers, we can agree that, yeah, you can fangirl over just paper even.
Yeah, right.
I've definitely had some moments where I'm like, oh my God, this paper, which most normal humans probably don't have that thought every day.
You know, I
But,
think
you know,
you're in good
breed.
company for sure.
We're a weird breed of people over here. So right now I'm just gonna start kind of digitalizing what I've been doing in my sketchbook. That way I'm not losing anyone. So I kind of just want to make these all some gray boxes. We all love some gray boxes, don't we?
Everybody loves a gray box.
And it just helps me a little bit just get like what I'm doing beforehand, and I can
You're kind of blocking out.
Yeah, I'm just blocking out this space so I can kind of like visualize what's gonna happen, and then I can kind of choose my my media secondhand, and that's usually not like a way that most people would go. But for a zine, I think it's more, for me, it's creating like a good pacing through it. I don't want to do everything symmetrical. I don't want to do everything huge. You know, I want to do some small stuff. I want to keep it interesting. So when you're flipping through this, it's not the same.
Right, it's dynamic. Your eyes are kind of being invited to different parts of the page.
So I'm gonna throw in another one here. I'm looking at, we don't have to go for now, but I'm looking at this guy.
Which one are you checking out?
Kind of looking at this one here. So I've got like this little offset cross thing kind of happening, and then I've got just like, I think I was thinking this was gonna be a
Is this on?
background image with another.
It was this one he was talking about.
Yeah.
So
this one right here.
got it.
So I'm kind of just roughly getting that. I know the sizes of the photos and stuff are not going to be.
Oh, I see this. You
most
got the gray
accurate.
box there, the gray box there,
Gray
box
boxes.
there. All right, very cool. Totally reflects your sketch.
So let's see. So we started off. We got like the rundown. So I think we can do some pull-outs or something. I'm thinking it would feel good to do something across here.
Go a
Maybe
little rogue
across
from
here.
your sketch design.
Yeah, and I really like how this is creating this like one piece, and it's almost like I could see that going horizontally.
Yeah.
And maybe having something call out horizontally that kind of chains across, you know, it almost creates like a barrier. So I might play with that in a second. I'm gonna go back to my photos.
Cool.
See what I want to pull in. I guess I should go to my type. So we went through this. Some talk about worms. So this is more of that camera stuff that I was talking about. Camera as all-seeing God.
Yoga powers.
That. Yoga powers.
Next paragraph. Sorry.
Actually, when I was writing this,
ahead.
I didn't understand why he says yoga powers here.
I just like the
because-
sentiment of that.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you could take that in multiple ways.
Right?
If you wanted. Yeah, it's kind of fun. So this camera, I want to talk about this camera. So let's, I keep going to the wrong thing. So yeah, we have this chain. This is that chain like I was talking about, that kind of
Very
all
grungy.
connects, but it's, yeah, very grungy. imagery. I actually have a tattoo like that. I have some fences here.
Sounds fitting, huh?
Yeah, I really like that imagery for some reason. I don't know. I think it's symbolic in a way too.
There's
It's
so
like a
much.
barrier, and you want to get through that barrier,
And you're
no
like
matter what the
teased
barrier
by
is.
seeing through it.
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Because it's so it looks very frail and
accessible,
thin.
but
it's
far.
accessible. Exactly. So I'm gonna talk about that. So I have these chains. That would actually be kind of cool. I have a couple of them. I like this where I was looking at this really nice beach, and then I noticed that there's some beer cans on the ground, and I was like, you know, and then I was like, okay, now I'm getting into the, so I just kept zooming in. So maybe that would be kind of fun. Because then once you see it, it's the only thing you can see. You're just like, what is that?
Why is that there?
And it just ruined the shot. And then I just embraced it fully. I just thought that was kind of funny.
What a metaphor for life.
It's like beautiful, and then it's like, okay, but so I think those will fit. They're all kind of vertical. Throw those guys in. Oh, I missed one. We're missing one.
Oh, and guys, also just a reminder, if you're just joining us, we are celebrating Editorial Design Week, so we are encouraging everyone to please submit your holiday card designs if you feel so inclined and inspired. And if you do that, you stand a chance to win a 1-year subscription to Creative Cloud, which is pretty awesome. So do throw those designs in. You can find out the details of submitting if you click on the challenge tab in the chat. So just sharing that.
That's pretty nice. A year subscription.
Serious business.
You get all the things, all the programs.
All those things. Oh, we have a fun question in the chat. You share your best 3 to 5 tips about editorial design today or over the next 2 days. So maybe you want to think about it.
I can spread them out.
Very considerate, Kevin.
I'll give you one. Yeah, I think so. I think I was talking about it earlier. I think restrictions definitely. I think all designers understand that as giving yourself restrictions, because there's an infinite amount of possibilities and like what you can do with photos, what typefaces you choose. The size, the layout, the paper choices. That's like post-printing process stuff.
So true.
So I think definitely just narrowing that down as much as you can. Like even today I couldn't narrow down from the typefaces, but I did. I mean, I think just sometimes you just gotta rip off the Band-Aid and choose.
Yeah.
And I think that spontaneity can help. And I think I don't know, like for editorial, most of the time I would say you want to make it legible. Obviously this one is not as much.
It's a passion project. It's
yeah,
different.
I think passion projects are fun, and I never get out of my comfort zone doing this stuff. So right now I'm just kind of imagining I'm going to edit these later, and I kind of like picturing that these are going to go here. But I want to play more with that chain idea since I'm focusing on that. So I'm going to make this kind of span all the way across here. And I'm going to pull some text. I think I'm going to do my call-outs in this black letter in this black letter font. Where am I going? Here we go.
Oh, in that font?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
No, the black.
Oh, the
this
black,
is
the thicker, right?
Yeah, the thicker one. So I'm gonna try to find something. Extension of the eye. Something that kind of pops out, you know.
Sniper's rifle. So violent.
Yeah, very violent.
Sleep is an under ocean dipped into each night at morning. Wow. I need to read this.
Yeah, it's very, I think his poetry, it's not really like typical
abstract,
poetry. It's more of like, what do you call that? Like, where you're just kind of free writing.
Stream of consciousness.
Yeah, stream of consciousness.
Yeah, love that.
That's definitely the kind of style it is. And it kind of just puts you in this little world for a second. It's really nice. But it can get a little dark. It's pretty dark.
Dark or rambly or both.
You want to find something about being trapped or something to go with that fence. I kind of like this sniper. It's an extension of the eye, but it's kind Kind of dark.
It is a little dark, but I do see it kind of matching with that image of seeing the beer can through the...
Yeah, the injurious, he kills with injurious vision. I don't even know what injurious means.
Injurious means injury. Apt to injure, or like...
Apt to, I like that.
Like it will cause injury.
Okay.
The injurious thing.
So I'm gonna go and make that all caps again. And to get that kind of congestion, I'm just gonna take the
so cool.
Like usually I would do optical here, but we're gonna go negative 100. Maybe that's not even enough. Let's see how big we can get this. So I want it to cover. I want it to span this page.
That looks so neat.
So let's pull this.
Almost Arabic or something.
Yeah,
it's
like
I was looking
at a lot of
calligraphic.
I've been.
Is that a word?
I do have like a thing with studying other languages. Like I used to be obsessed with Japanese because each letter is like so symmetrical. It like always fits in a square. So like their editorial stuff is really
perfect.
It's really beautiful and perfect. Yeah, and that's that one Just Passing. I was looking at a lot of Japanese style editorial. I think that can help too. That's another tip. Just looking at other languages and other cultures and how they look at stuff, because Japanese stuff is very symmetrical, but it's also very tight knit and clean. It's really cool. I'm jealous that they get to work with such a beautiful language all the time. So.
Aw, what a sweet sentiment.
It's really cool. Okay, so I'm gonna pull
inspiration everywhere.
That's pretty congested enough. I might go down here. I'm at negative 100. Let's see what 150 is. Kind of fits a little bit more of it. I want to see where this falls.
It also looks graffiti-y.
Yeah, I mean it's not legible at all, but
I can see it if I.
Yeah, I like that.
I did already know what it said.
Deciphering
so
it. Yeah, maybe that helps.
That's probably it.
Just a little. So I'm gonna pull these in. I don't really need these guides anymore. I'm gonna use the free transform. I just learned about the free transform tool like a year ago. And it basically, all those people that are like, no, Illustrator's better. Like, the free transform tool is everything you want in InDesign that you don't get, that you don't think you get. Like, I didn't know that it existed for a long time. And that's because everyone, you know how in InDesign you have these frames and you want to grow it, and then it's just the frame, and people get all stressed out about it. But I think the frames help in this sense because you don't have to clip mask everything like in Illustrator, you know?
Yeah.
And that clip masking can get very confusing very quickly. So I'm going to take this down. I'm just gonna.
Ooh, what's your favorite book?
Favorite book?
For
That's
design
a good question.
book.
Like design book or actual book?
General design related because of the way it's designed. Anything. Oh, we got some.
That's a good question. I used to read a lot of biographies, like musician biographies. I actually really enjoy One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That's a very good book.
It's a great book, and it's just written very it's very psychedelically written. Like, you don't really know what's going on or if what's happening is real, and it makes you question the narrator and stuff. And I really kind of like that just interesting style of writing. It's just like, I think we had to read that in high school, and I've reread it multiple times, and I just you always catch something new, you know? That would definitely be one of my favorite novels.
Cool.
Design related. That one's harder. I have a lot of just typeface books. I have a lot of magazines too. I kind of love magazines.
You have a favorite mag?
Yeah, I really so all my friends are gonna laugh at me because they all know this. I really love What Youth, who's based in Newport Beach, but recently I think they've gone through a little.
What is that?
It's called What Youth. It's like a.
What Youth?
It's like a surf, art, skate inspired magazine kind of
Cool.
thing. Recently Fisk Projects in Portland just released another. They have a magazine called Cult Classic.
Cult Classic.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's actually very beautiful layout design, and they have like some pretty avant-garde stuff, and I think they really just showcase artists and stuff. Like Toro Imoa was the.
Ooh, I love Toro Imoa.
He's on the cover.
So talented.
Yeah, I love him. He's so cool.
Really cool.
Chaz Baer is his real name.
Chaz Budnick.
Budnick. Oh, it says Chaz Baer in the magazine. Maybe that's his nickname or something. Budnick is his real name. You're right.
Yeah, I thought so. And he has this other band with the Matsons.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
good.
Yeah, he's really, and there's a lot of cool, like, the interview on him. I haven't actually got to read it because it came in the mail right when I got home before I had to leave to come here. So I got to open it and, like, look at it, and I was like, oh my God. And then I had to leave, and I was like,
Oh, it'll be even sweeter now that you've had to wait.
oh yeah. I'm ready for it. So I've got kind of the basic layout here now. And I think another tip for editorial stuff, I think the beauty is in the details, because you can do a lot of basic shape stuff. But when you start whittling it down and adding those little nuances that kind of add cohesion through the whole book, you know, I think that can really tie stuff together, and it can add that little personality to something that it may not have. So I think I'm gonna pull the line that this was from right here and see if there's anything else. I kind of like this passage too, so I'm gonna come back. And I would normally I should create a character style. My teacher's probably going, create a character style. But I really just want to get this in here quick so I just want to get the idea in here real fast so I can kind of start working. Oh boy. So I'm going to take that.
Very cool.
And I want to go and take this as well. I really like this passage. I'll throw that in there. And I'm going to stick with this centered up kind of thing, I think. For now, anyways.
And you said these photos are going to be in grayscale, right?
Yes.
Ultimately.
Yeah. Once I get them, I'm kind of just trying to, because I don't want to spend all day like in Photoshop. I think most people, I'm going to do the same process that I just did earlier for all these photos.
Got it.
So I'll probably end up doing that tonight. So tomorrow we're not doing that all day, because that's honestly the most boring part. Is, I mean, it's fun, but it's just like, am I doing the same thing over and over? You know?
Oh, we have a fun question from the chat. We have a couple of fun questions from the chat. So number one is, do you use character and paragraph styles a lot?
I normally do.
You normally do. Okay.
I am not today because I'm kind of getting it in here, and I didn't want to bog it down. I kind of wanted to get into it, but yeah, that's what I was just talking about. My teacher's going, "Where's your paragraph styles? Where's your paragraph styles?" Because they help. They're so much faster, because what a character style is basically preset. Since I'm doing this now, I'm kind of figuring out that I want to kind of keep this type size and layout and font choice. Basically, I can just set one up here real quick. You'll get a new character style. And we want to go. We already have this. We want to go. So I'm using Baskerville. Regular. I'm pretty sure it's size 12. Leading. I'm not really. I haven't been playing with the leading and stuff, but as I go, I can start playing with that. Cool. So basically, what I'll do is that, and so if I change this to say like whatever, we're just gonna pick something here. Monaco, and then I'll go here to character styles, and I'll just click that, and I'll go right back to that. So that way, if I want to select this, that helps a lot when you have a huge, like a huge document, and if you set all your type that's gonna look the same as character style 1, and then you go into character style and you change it, it'll change everything immediately.
Nice.
Versus having to click in and go change every single box. One. It saves you so much time.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, that stuff can get pretty annoying when you're going through something like, I mean, we had multiple projects that were over like 200 pages, you know, and you have one little change or something that you need to do, and it can take you ages and you have to kind of decipher your stuff as well. So that's always not very fun. Okay, what's happening here? I don't want confirmation. There we go.
Oh.
Unclick.
And as a reminder, the deadline for submission for today, the holiday card challenge, is in 10 minutes. So keep them coming if you're wrapping up on one. And if you were not able to submit a challenge design today, you can definitely do that tomorrow during the next session. So with a new challenge tomorrow as well.
New challenge, new prize?
New challenge, I think same prize, which is the coolest prize ever. So.
I really like that number. I saw one prize, I think, one time, and it was Photoshop socks or something. I was like, that's a prize. Like, that's something that no one's gonna get except your design friends, but it's gonna be hilarious when you like
pull up your socks, your pants.
Yeah, and I'm a huge guy I love puns, and so I would definitely try to come up with some dumb pun to like throw in and like reveal them. You know, it's all about the presentation.
Clearly,
that's half
I was
of
just
the
gonna
battle,
say that.
Especially with design too. Like, you can make the dopest thing, and then if you don't present it in the right way. So I've already got this like
rules to live by.
I've already got this Photoshop file with this black and white going over it, and I'm gonna invert this guy. What is happening? Alright, I'm gonna restart. Something funny. Oh no, that's what's happening. It was just above it. There we go. So weird looking.
Cool. It looks like snow.
And it really highlights the can as well. Like I found that with the Hollywood sign too, from earlier. Yeah. When I was working early on, I had the sign here, and you kind of couldn't read it. And when I inverted it, it was like the main thing, which I was kind of into, because it's like that's what I wanted to call to attention. So I think this visually like is making sense of what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna go in, and I think
frosty.
I'm gonna see frosty.
Like,
it does kind of look like snow.
Yeah,
it reminds me of snow. I had a little like hallucination the other day of snow in California, and my friends were making fun of me about it.
It's not completely out of the realm of possibility.
No,
here,
I actually saw someone had washed their car, and I saw the soap, and it looked like snow. Like, you know when like
somebody's
it snows,
really jonesing for some
yeah,
snow.
You know when it snows and like it's after a couple of days and all of it gets pushed in the gutters, and I saw it and I was like, oh my god, what? And I was like, it didn't snow, but like my
your body
eyes
told
were
you.
just like, what? Yeah, my eyes were flipping out on me, so it was very interesting. So now we got that kind of playing around, and I like that this kind of pops. When you're working with one color, you got to really make sure that that black's coming forward. Like on the cover, you kind of lose it a little, but I think here it kind of works.
Sure.
I would go back in here, and I think I love white spaces. I'm sure many people in the chat do as well. So I'm actually gonna push myself later to do some full bleed images stuff and try to use some stuff. I think that's where legibility is gonna become an issue, but
let's see.
We can deal with that a little.
Tweak it out.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just throw this guy in here too, just to get a feel.
Snow in California is definitely a thing.
Is it snow in San Francisco?
It's confirmed in the chat. She lives in Northern California. It's been snowed into her house. It can totally happen.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, because people were laughing at me. I was with my friend, and he was like, "Are you serious?"
You guys are in Southern California, so it is a bit more comical down there than it is up here.
Like, what? It's funny though, because everyone at my work was like, "Oh, it's so cold in San Francisco," and it's like maybe what is it, like 55 today? It's pretty nice.
Listen,
like,
it is so cold in San Francisco. You don't want to get me started on it.
I don't know. I'm from Kansas City, and it's pretty cold.
I'm from Texas, so it makes sense.
Yeah, you're from the heat. It's kind of nice. I have family in Texas, and we used to go down there over the holidays, and it was nice because I got like a new bike once, and you can go ride it outside because it's warm, and you're like, yes.
Always. Pretty tropical.
It's so nice when that happens.
I love what's going on here with this.
Made it small. Yeah, it's kind of adding a nice little.
Look at that pattern. That's kind of a.
Yeah, it's like rendering kind of. I love. So this was in my little.
That's fun.
My movement. Just that lo-fi, I think, is harping on that like reality kind of thing. Everything's not polished in 4K. Just in life.
Wow.
Just in general.
There's so much depth here.
Oh yeah, we're getting deep.
We're getting real deep.
I kind of like this like weird thing that's happening when I overlay it.
Ooh,
too.
that's cool.
Like maybe play with that later too.
What's color though? It goes against. I really did.
Well, I would probably make it. Yeah, I would probably leave a black and white layer underneath when I did that.
It's so
but I think
funny.
we're getting some interesting look here. Kind of. I think this chain one's gonna look cool too.
How quickly a photograph can look like a drawing, you know?
Yeah, and I think, I mean, obviously Photoshop's meant to harp on what people used to do. Like, a lot of people used to... I really enjoy, like, 90s style stuff, which is a lot of Xerox and stuff like that. So I'm just recreating that, and I think that's just the only way I know how to do it, you know? So I didn't grow up in that time period. Everyone can be nostalgic for a time period. And I think I'm definitely nostalgic for that era of like late 80s, early 90s design. It was very like fashionable to do new wave stuff.
Super trendy.
For a while.
Super
yeah,
trendy.
It was.
Are you checking out your layouts for the next one?
Yeah, a little. I want to do something big since I did. Yeah, since I did something here. Actually, I haven't even saved this. What should I save it as?
Okay, guys.
I did something kind of off balance, so I think I'm gonna go with something kind of full bleed and like overpowering. That's kind of filling the page. I really want to do something kind of. I think like this. But I think I already did that kind of chain thing. So maybe something else that kind of.
But you did it in combination with some other stuff.
But I know I want to blow up an image pretty big, or maybe I do the opposite and I do all type and then a huge image or something. You know? I mean,
this is a big.
That's a lot of images.
Lots of images.
Just all overlapping.
Maybe something like.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna throw. I'm just gonna wing it a little.
That's what you do.
We need a horizontal image. So let's go back.
And guys, in about 5 minutes we'll be announcing that. Actually, we'll be going through the designs that you're submitting.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be in about 5 minutes. They're for holiday cards.
Oh yeah,
so we're going to get to share some of our feedback on folks' design.
Kansas City, Hallmark is the headquarters of Hallmark is in Kansas City.
Fun fact.
Huge,
Had
really
no
big
idea.
campus. Yeah. Yeah, one of my teachers actually, his dad's worked there for 50 years, I think, or not 50. Well, he's probably not that old. Sorry, Tad, if you're watching. His dad's worked there his whole life, and he met a lot of famous people. Like, I mean, Hallmark was pretty big back in the day. They're still huge.
They still corner the market for greeting cards for sure.
They do a lot of other stuff too. We have a lot of them come talk at our school all the time.
Cool.
Just about stuff. I'm trying to just pull in some like what I kind of want to focus on. This vague and dizzy's kind of.
I like that.
Out. Monotonous noise, monotonous voices being swallowed. So I think overwhelming is what I'm kind of getting from that. So I want to find kind of a busy image or something that's
where lots going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and that I can use to pull over the whole spread. I'm trying to look for I took a lot of these just on my phone. If you can tell, they're all squares and vertical. But I think maybe I could combine a couple, you know. I'm trying to think. I really like maybe this flood image comes in because that was crazy. That I had to get out of my car and take a picture of it. It was so crazy. I've never seen anything like that. And it's got. I think this will be a light, and I'll have some space to work with. Oh, that's true. To the negative space. Yeah, because I want to make sure I can kind of see some stuff. So we're going to unbitmap. We're going to go back. So, and a lot of the times I won't even save these because what I'm doing is making it just pixels right now in Photoshop, so I don't really need to save these images. I can just kind of keep kind of working in this canvas pretty much that I've got set up for myself. It looks so cool. It's kind of nice that I don't have to like take up space, you know? That looks particularly frightening as well. The flood was frightening to be in. I was actually dropping off stuff for my work at our storage unit, and I got turned around by police saying, "Oh, it's flooded down there, you can't go down there." And I was like, "What? Are you serious?" And I want to keep that, so I'm gonna try something a little different. I'm gonna go back to that threshold and just make it kind of. You can still kind of see that car. Ooh. And keep the car. I love watching that happen. Yeah, it's fun. I think people do. People probably do. Maybe I'll do this because you can kind of see the car. Maybe I'll uninvert it again. Whoa. Just leave it as threshold. So that looks like. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's it. Money shot. That's always a good feeling when you're I'm just embracing the ugliest photos right now, and I'm kind of enjoying it because. Ooh. Just fun. All right, here guys. We've reached our deadline for the holiday card submissions, so let's take a peek at some of these. Yeah. We're gonna pause and design for a moment. Yeah, let me get this out of the way. All
right. What do we...
Go full screen.
Oh, pardon.
You do the green. Button.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. Okay.
Look at those. Are these all from today?
Most of them are. I think some came in yesterday. Or wait, no, they were all from today. All of them from this morning and from today's session. So.
That's cool.
It's these. Okay. I'm going to start from this one. Happy holidays. Spread love with everyone around you. Cool Christmas trees.
Yeah, I bet they have like a Wacom or something. I really want to get one of those. Those look really fun.
What?
My buddy has those tablets that you can draw on. It looks like they have one of those.
Illustrator ones.
And you can really get a nice because that's what I'm missing in mine. I need some handwritten stuff, you know, like some grungy pencil type.
Painterly,
Yeah.
gestural movements.
Yeah, I like that drop shadow too.
Very cool. Thank you, Camilla. Next we have, this one's fun, a little different. It's that time of the year again.
Again.
Don't sound so stoked.
A great time to use Cooper Black too. Oh, I love is that sprinkles and they...
Are they ornaments or sprinkles or both?
It looks like both.
Oh, it might be those little round sprinkles. You know those
Yeah.
little round ones?
Yeah,
This is
I wonder how they
fun.
did
It's
that. It looks like a
very
tree.
Celebratory, Eastery
cool.
colors, a little alternative holiday card approach. I'm into it.
I love the again because it's like, well, it's time to drink.
Pretty much. That's the message
Hey,
here.
but like a nice mint, peppermint schnapps martini or something. Whatever. Get fancy on Christmas.
Yeah, you vibe with that.
Treat yourself.
All right. Oh, this is cute. Happy holidays. Little kitty in a sweater.
Little black cat. We have my roommate's little black cat's the cutest. His name's Boo. He looks just like that. He's got orange eyes. It's unbelievable, his eyes in person. Orange eyes on a black cat. It's like perfect Halloween mix. And his name's Boo.
It's perfect.
It's short for Bamboo.
Was he
though.
born on Halloween? Jeez.
No, he's made for it though.
Okay, fair.
That's cute.
So, I think it's a little dark, but I really love the illustration. I feel like I want it to be brighter.
Yeah, I want the type to come up a little bit.
Like pop out more.
Yeah. But it's kind of nice. I mean, it's like subtle.
It is subtle.
The Christmas sweater's cute. He's like wrestling it. Cocoon.
All right, next one. This is cute. It's a little
Cactus
California cactus. Or that's what I'm going to call it. It's a cactus.
I've been looking. See, I'm from Kansas where there's no cactus. And my whole drive out, I was like, "Where's the saguaro?" I was looking, and I couldn't find too many. But they're like, those are the coolest ones. The ones that are like doing the arms.
Like
They
this?
always look like this. I like that. See, that's like really nice little. Those lines are really nice.
Yeah.
The thick and thin makes a huge difference.
Huge.
The line weight.
Cool. And I
Looks
love
really
that scratchy background you have there. And like
Yeah, it's like a gradient almost.
gradient
Looks
there.
like just, what do you call those huge pins? Those industrial designers love those pins.
Oh, I know what you're
Remember what they're
talking
called.
about. They're like
Oh, I'm
juicy.
blanking out. Yeah.
Oh, we have some more, guys. Okay, let's power through. This one's nice, very sophisticated.
Yeah, very crisp.
Crisp, cool,
Crispy.
cool fonts, multiple fonts. Ron's
cool.
Happy Holidays. Yeah, there's a lot of depth
Wow.
here. Lots of layers.
Yeah, I love the shininess of the type. It really looks like an ornament, and it goes well on top of that really matte kind of illustration.
Yeah, that's a
What's
good
the-
combination.
he's got his
Oakwood
little
University.
University pride.
Very good. Okay, so this next one, Merry Christmas. If I could tell
New
Santa
Zealand.
what to give you, it would be happiness and peace, not just this Christmas, but for the entire year.
This is get me in the spirit. It doesn't feel like Christmas out here. It's so warm.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Adobe family from
New
New
Zealand.
Zealand.
All the way around.
Thanks,
the world. What time
Beck.
is it there?
I don't even know. But I really like this little world. You're walking through the world.
It's like a
and
cut
it's,
paper thing. It's really
Yeah.
cool. It's got that depth, but it's also very flat at the same time.
Very inviting. Sweet. We got our ornament.
Warm holiday wishes.
Claflin
their
University.
too. I like these. I want to know these mascots because we have the funniest mascot from my university. The
What's
Jayhawks. It is an imaginary bird. It's not even a real bird. It's like a Jayhawk. It's like
NYU's was a flower.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
That's
that.
real weird.
And
The
Stanford
violets.
is what is Stanford? The cardinal? The cardinal?
I should know that.
I don't even know what that means.
I apologize.
Oh,
for
the
not
little
knowing
bear
that.
is cute.
I like this bear. And this little birdie coming off the H.
The bird is cute. With 2019, wow,
cute.
it's really 2019 out here though.
It's true.
It doesn't feel like it.
It's so true. Wait, where did we go?
You're right here.
Oh, right. Okay, I was looking for the ornaments. Okay, Nicole, we've got your Christmas tree. Very cute. Happy holidays. I like the border around the alternating trees.
Yeah, it's like a nice little hand-drawn.
And the texture of the background.
Patterns are really fun. I know I've seen some people use that. I think there's a plugin for Illustrator, and it creates basically what do you call that? Like a kaleidoscope effect. And so you'll do like, it's perfect for like snowflakes and stuff because you'll do like 1/8, or you can divide it how many times you want, and you'll draw on that, and it'll perfectly.
Oh, it'll
mirror
replicate
and
it
replicate
so that you
around. Yeah, really cool.
That's a cool tool.
Yeah, I love that. Those plugins.
Here we
are
go with
crazy.
these shadows again. This is extra
Yeah, it looks like it's
special
actually paper.
cutty.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
Uh-oh.
Oopsie, we're just gonna.
Yeah,
go off
that
the
looks like.
screen.
I think they actually. It looks like they made it like all like little exact.
And if they
details.
didn't, then they did a really good job of
Yeah.
conveying that, right?
Some Photoshop skills or some very high level crafting skills.
Yeah, thank you, Bojana. Oh, this one's neat. I like this.
Oh yeah, it says 2019 and it's like a snowflake.
It's like a button.
That's cool. I love the 2019 on the outside is really nice.
It's really cool. I like that.
That one's like that's kind of nice, like hidden a little. Because at first I was like, that says something, doesn't it? And I
It's
was
super
like, oh.
unique.
Yeah, it's like a snowflake.
It's like a snowflake with a Rudolph the reindeer nose
Oh,
inside.
that's probably what they're going for. I didn't even notice that. That's my favorite Christmas movie, is Rudolph. That should be a question. Favorite Christmas movie?
Yeah, that's a great question.
The
What is
old
everyone's?
puppet Rudolph one? That's the best.
So cute.
Yeah, that's
I
the
really
best
like A Christmas Story.
one. Christmas story with the little kid.
Oh, shoot
I
your
can't
eye
put
out.
my arms down. I quote that all the time. It's a family favorite for sure.
It's a good one.
It reminds me, I have a little brother, so it just reminds me of like our dynamic. It's really funny.
It's a
Crazy
brother
little
movie
brother.
for sure.
That's some nice type right there.
This is a nice type.
I love that H.
It's a nice
on.
bold H.
Mhm.
Got two of them. You really got the vibe going for the card. Those are
that's
pretty
sick.
snowflakes.
I love that script font too. I tried to make something similar to that once. It's really hard. Making fonts is hard, man. That's why you buy your fonts, people. People work hard.
Ooh, this is from Istanbul.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you,
cool.
Kim. Happy holidays.
I like that. Just backdrop of Istanbul is cool. Isn't it in Turkey?
Those buildings.
I've never
look
been. I really want to go.
cool.
I met some people from there once. Looks beautiful, like the churches and stuff. I'm a huge fan of like old churches, so like anywhere in Europe, you can just find beautiful churches, and they're
that's
huge.
So inspirational.
Oh, this is a little cute guy.
This one's cute.
I like how simple those presents are. I mean, they're just literally rectangles, but like
Put
the way
some-
they did it just adds a lot.
Yeah, the
A
different
lot with a little.
the different bows. Very
Yeah.
cool.
A little bit can go a long way. Looks good.
It's an important message. Advent season. Warm wishes. Warm wishes for a blessed Advent season. Got another Rudolph.
Yeah.
Those
What's
are interesting.
Advent?
Advent.
What's that?
I remember learning about the Advent calendar, which is a calendar used by some to celebrate the days leading up to Christmas. Apologies if I butchered that. But
Interesting.
that's my association with the word Advent, and perhaps
I've
it's
never heard
just
it
the
before.
word for Christmas in other places. Maybe somebody can weigh in on
Yeah.
that. Yadira Hernandez.
Very white Christmas. Nice. See, that's like some designer t-shirt.
This is great. Good job.
Oh my god, yeah. I love those like little. I think I was at a design conference once and it was like tweeting your best reference to, it was like song lyrics but somehow matched up a design, and it was some pretty funny stuff, like hyphens and people throwing in some like ligature stuff.
Oh, what's going on? We've got some flying reindeer in this one, and then a gift that's flown down
on
to
the little perch, on the little.
This just makes me. Oh, and then you see the little happy holidays on the bag.
Oh yeah, I love that.
I like
that sun.
Yeah, the moon. The moon is very cool. Mm-hmm. That's my favorite part.
I like that gradient. That's like a cascading.
Something about a solid circle is just so beautiful.
Yeah, it's really satisfying.
Yeah, I'm into that.
That's another funny design question. What's your favorite shape?
This one's cool. It's like kind of like choose your emotion for the holiday season.
Yeah. It's like fill in the
choose your own emotion.
That's pretty funny.
Chilling out for the holiday.
Oh, the snowman in the hot
tub.
I love hot tubs in the cold. Getting out's the worst though, but I hope he doesn't melt. He looks pretty comfortable.
Those trees seem very snow laden.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever hit a tree when it's full of snow and all the snow comes down?
Fortunately not.
When you're snowboarding, well, I didn't run into it when I was snowboarding, but like sometimes you can just hit it and all the snow goes all at once. It's really fun. Snow, I'm jonesing for the snow.
Jonesing for the snow. We all know. We all know.
Fake snow.
Well, thank you all so much. These were all some really, really awesome holiday cards, and we got quite a few. Yeah. So yeah, if you submitted any of these beautiful holiday card designs, stay tuned to your email inbox, and you'll maybe hear about winning that year-long subscription to Creative Cloud.
Yeah, that's a good prize.
Yeah.
I think you can't go wrong with that.
Alrighty, so let's get back to this designing of your zine.
I got kicked out. It was offline for too long.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Okay, so I was in the middle. I'm gonna take care of this later. I'm gonna leave that. I was gonna blow this guy up as big as I can. I'm just gonna use it as a backdrop, I think, and see what I can kind of muster up here.
Let's see.
This right here. So, I didn't make it a bitmap yet. That's the key. I need the bitmap. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, when it's still an image, it'll get. I mean, that's some grunge look, but I'm
you're like a little
going for a certain look. This one's pretty low quality already, so I'm gonna play around with the amount of bitmapping I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna stick with that 150. I think that cutting it in half is working well. It's giving us like that. I want that pixely look.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not sure how it's gonna look because it's pretty small. I'm actually gonna blow this guy up a little because it's all the pop-ups. Oh, this doesn't want to render for me. I'm holding shift and it's for some reason wanting to skew my image. I need to keep it.
That is not ideal.
What's going on here? Oh, there we go.
There you go. Maybe it was just
something
a lag.
was happening. Yeah, I think it was a lag. It's already grayscale. Okay. So now I'm gonna grab that. That just makes my life easier so I can see the edges. Oh yeah, that's plenty big. Look at what we got. We want to go back to this guy for transform, pull him in. I want to keep it the height, so
I see.
We'll play around with where it sits right now.
And this image is gonna take up the whole page?
I think I want something to break it up, and then I think I'm gonna layer some stuff over it a little bit. So I'm gonna see. This is a crazy image, like
It's really nuts. There's so much going on here.
When I saw this one, I was already taken aback. And then when I saw this guy actually, I watched him drive into this and get stuck. So
really? You were like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, he thought he could make it. Didn't make it. Now he's forever in the zine.
Forever in the zine, documented.
Made a zine guy. If you're watching this. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So I think I'm going to try to layer maybe the same image over this and just with that inversion.
Oh.
Play a little more with just the photos here.
Totally.
Because I uninverted this because it was really dark. Because I wanted that, since I'm blowing it up, I wanted that white kind of around so it wasn't so dark, wasn't so dense. So I'm going to grab this again and do another bitmap here. And then pull this in. I think, oh, it's way big. So another thing that I'll do too as a shortcut is Command-Option-C, and that'll just wrap that.
I see.
That frame around, so you're not dealing with the frame. And these bitmaps are.
Whoa.
So I forgot that these bitmaps are see-through. So I'm getting kind of a double effect here.
I see that.
So what I'm gonna do is throw a white box in here, so that white kind of has something to latch onto, and it can separate itself from there. See? So we want that to pop a little bit. Oh, what did I just do?
There you go.
Whoa. My key commands are off today. I'm trying to group that. There we go. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is pull this down.
Oh, and we're wrapping up in, oy vey, time flew.
Yeah.
In about
it did.
7 to 8 minutes.
Okay. So this is getting a little illegible. I'm not really sure if I want to do this anymore. Let's see what else we can do. I might leave that for now and see what, that just breaks up the pacing at least for me. Sure. So at least I can kind of get a nice break in what's going on and go from all white space to this full thing that's going on. I'm gonna probably bring some more stuff in here once I start playing with page numbers and stuff. If I want to go down that road and captions, I think that can come into play, and that'll add some more detail to what's going on.
Cool. And you're gonna be adding those components tomorrow.
I think so, yeah. So that'll be back in the master page and whatever I want to apply globally to the document. And I think that stuff really can pull your layouts together as well. Like, I think I used to TA a little bit, and when I would talk to the students, like, I would just go off my experiences, and my experience was you kind of need these levels of stuff going on. So you need obviously your titles and your subtitles and your body, but you also need that like 4th and 5th level stuff that really gives that nuance. And I think that makes the book feel more, whatever you're doing, it makes it feel a little more legitimate, and it also gives like more clarity to whoever's reading it, more organization to it.
Yeah.
So let's go back to this document here. So we've got yoga powers we already talked about.
Yoga power.
So I just learned out what the Santa Anas are, the Santa Ana winds, which are crazy.
So, I mean, I think we all learned about the Santa Ana winds recently.
Yeah.
If we didn't already know about them.
I like, when you come out here, you don't really understand how bad that stuff is. I saw a lot of photos of what was happening, and then those firefighters are super brave because those fires move. When I lived in Kansas, I was like, how are fires like doing that to people? But it's like the fires are ripping across.
You just have
They're moving faster than a car. So it's like a tornado where I'm from. Those things can really, really move, and you underestimate them until they're behind you, you know?
Yeah.
I think. And there wasn't enough help. That's a whole nother thing.
The fleeting aspects of it all.
Yeah.
Right? Or of life, really.
So right now I'm trying to pull together kind of some imagery and kind of what I want to. So this is talking about the road a little bit. I had that passage about the road. I think I'm gonna pull that because I take a lot of pictures of cars. I'm very obsessed with cars. So I like this passage, modern life is a journey by car.
Ooh, cool. That's so perfect.
Yeah, and it fit with my like trip out here too, and I really liked that. So I'm gonna pull that and just have it. And I'm gonna start setting up my layout again.
Ooh, shall we take a peek? Which ones you're considering?
Yeah. You always come back to the sketchbook.
Always come back to the sketchbook. Okay, which one are you thinking of?
So we just went with that full bleed. So I think something a little more intricate and small. We did I have a lot of photos of cars, so we have no shortage of that. And we just did this one that was kind of 3. So maybe something more, this is that full, I want to break that pacing up, you know, so I think I'm kind of liking this.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
It's more that symmetrical. We can come back to that, or something that kind of fills. Yeah, I kind of like this too. This like.
Oh yeah, car.
Yeah, something like that, and maybe some type here. I think I'm trying to think of where I can throw the body type too.
The font, yeah, or the.
Try to consider that a little. I like this one, but that can be for later.
Where would you put the body font for this one?
Good question. Maybe I'll just run it across. I mean, I don't know. I'm doing a lot of that running across, and it's kind of a little bit of a theme. So I'm just gonna paste this type in so I have it. I'm gonna move that back out of there. And then I'll grab some of these photos. So right now they're square, so I'm gonna have to reformat them and crop them a little. But there's so many classic cars in California. It's really easy to find cool cars, so it's kind of heaven for me.
There's so many Volkswagens here.
Really?
I've noticed.
Like old ones or new ones?
Old ones.
Old ones. I just love, like, I really want to get one, but, you know, my dad's always like, you need a reliable car. And I'm like, I know. You're a good dad.
This one's so cool, Dad.
You're a good dad. You just want my safety. I get it.
Aww.
But it's like, I just love the look of these cars, man. They're just beautiful. They just don't, there's just not as much.
They don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah, the detail. And I think it was a lot about what they were using to build them. There's a lot of chrome, which I think I can chalk it up to. So I've got a lot of taillights here. I guess I can tell that I like taillights of cars. Maybe I need a headlight. We need something.
Get a headlight in.
We got this. I like this one because it had like a reflection of some palm trees and stuff in here. And I think it's kind of, I like just doing these zoom-ins, these abstract shots. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It's fun to pull individual pieces. I've seen a couple artists recently too doing stuff like that where it's like they're just shooting like a headlight or a taillight of like any car, like even like a Porsche or something. But the way they're abstracting them is extremely interesting because it's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's just kind of like, it's different, and it's just it makes you look at something the way they're looking at it, and it's kind of nice. So these are 2 different cars, but
that's okay.
They're both Cadillacs.
I wouldn't have been able to tell.
They just have these crazy, I love these taillights, man.
Oh
like,
yeah, they're also, those are
what is happening?
definitely different.
Like, who was like, so we're gonna make it like this? I think it was all that space race stuff, you know? They were probably inspired by that. Oops.
Oh, what a good point.
That like
can make it look like a
that
space shuttle.
Makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna try to make these all the same. Oh, they are. Okay.
Ooh, and we're wrapping up in one.
In one?
Yeah. Oh, shocking.
Fire this guy up.
But we have quite a foundation for you to work off of for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's looking more cohesive now. I feel better.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna pull this guy. We're gonna have to do a little cropping. So I'm just pulling these in because I know that these are going to bleed off. So I'm going to push these over.
And you're going to have those in grayscale eventually
I'm
too.
I'm going to take these into grayscale eventually. Now I'm just trying to kind of get them feeling right. Kind of making sure they're filling the little gaps here. I have my grid off. I think maybe 2. Remember that I had this on the right. On the right side.
All right, Ashton,
We're wrapping up.
That is our time for today, but you guys can all tune back in tomorrow and join Ashton as he continues designing for his
Pick up where we left off.
California zine. And also there will be a new design challenge for tomorrow, and you can submit those designs and stand a chance to win a year-long subscription of Creative Cloud tomorrow. Thank you all so much for participating and tuning in, and thank you so much, Ashton.
The car is gorgeous, I agree. Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.